All right, so tonight we're diving into some really cool research on insomnia. We've got an excerpt here from Learn Daily Research on Insomnia, and we're going to break down the most practical, you know, science-backed strategies so you can finally, you know, get a good night's sleep. And I promise this is way more interesting than just counting sheep.
Hmm.
We're going to be talking about practical tips that you can start using tonight, and even exploring some of the surprising connections between like your sleep positions and your emotional state.
Yeah, that's right. The way we sleep can actually reveal quite a bit
Okay.
about what's going on beneath the surface. But before we get to that, let's start by understanding exactly what insomnia is and why it's so important to address it.
Okay, so insomnia. It's more than just the occasional night of tossing and turning right.
Right. We all have those nights where sleep eludes us. But insomnia is characterized by persistent difficulty falling asleep,
Hmm.
staying asleep,
Yeah.
or both. And the impact goes far beyond just feeling tired the next day.
Yeah, I can imagine. If you're constantly struggling to get a good night's sleep, it must affect everything.
Yes, exactly. Chronic insomnia can significantly impact your mood, your energy levels, concentration, and even your physical health. Research has linked it to an increased risk of conditions like heart disease, diabetes, obesity,
Mm.
and depression.
So this isn't something to just brush off as like a minor inconvenience.
Definitely not. But the good news is that there are effective non-medical approaches
Hmm.
that you can use to improve your sleep. And that's what you're going to focus on today.
Now, you mentioned something about sleep positions and emotions earlier. This is where it starts to get really intriguing for me. Are you saying the way I sleep can actually reflect how I'm feeling?
There's a growing body of research that suggests just that. While it's not an exact science, certain sleep positions can be associated with different emotional states. For instance, sleeping on your stomach is often linked to feelings of vulnerability or anxiety. It's almost like you're subconsciously trying to protect yourself.
That's interesting. I've noticed that when I'm feeling stressed, I tend to curl up in a fetal position. I guess it's similar to sleeping on your stomach.
Yes, and it's thought that this position might provide a sense of security and comfort during times of stress. Now, on the other hand, sleeping on your back can sometimes be associated with feelings of confidence or even a sense of being exposed.
Exposed, like literally since you're lying there face up.
Well, there could be an element of that,
Yeah.
but it's more about the feeling of being open and unguarded. Think about the classic power pose, standing tall with your chest open. Sleeping on your back might tap into a similar sense of vulnerability and self-assurance, but it's also the position most associated with snoring and sleep apnea. So there are trade-offs to consider.
Okay, so stomach sleeping for comfort and security. Back sleeping for confidence, but maybe with some downsides. What about side sleeping? That's probably the most common position.
You're right. Side sleeping is the most popular. And when it comes to emotional connections, it gets even more fascinating. According to some research, sleeping on your left side may actually have a positive impact on your energy levels.
Really? How does that work?
Yeah, it's thought to be related to the way our internal organs are positioned. Sleeping on your left side might improve blood flow and lymphatic drainage, which could contribute to feeling more energized upon waking. Some ancient traditions also link left side sleeping to activating the right nostril, which is associated with increased energy.
So if I'm feeling sluggish, I should try sleeping on my left side tonight.
It's certainly worth a try. You might be surprised at the difference it makes. On the flip side, sleeping on your right side is often associated with feelings of calmness and relaxation. It's thought that this position might stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system,
Yeah.
which is responsible for rest and digestion.
So we've got left side for energy
Mm.
and right side for relaxation. It's like choosing your own sleep adventure based on how you want to feel.
You could think of it that way, of course. Individual preferences and comfort play a huge role, but it's still fascinating to consider how our sleep positions might be tied to our emotional states.
It really is. It makes you wonder how much our subconscious is influencing the way we sleep. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about some more practical strategies for improving sleep quality. You mentioned sleep hygiene earlier. What exactly does that entail?
Sleep hygiene is all about creating habits and an environment that promote restful sleep. It's the foundation for getting a good night's rest consistently.
Okay, so what are the key components of good sleep hygiene? Where do we even begin?
One of the most important aspects of sleep hygiene is consistency.
Consistency. You mean like sticking to a regular sleep schedule?
Exactly. Going to bed and waking up around the same time each day, even on weekends, helps regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle, known as your circadian rhythm. This internal clock plays a crucial role in hormone production, body temperature regulation, and other processes that influence sleep.
So even if I stay up late on Saturday night, I should still try to wake up at my usual time on Sunday.
Ideally, yes. Of course, it's okay to have some flexibility, but the more consistent you can be, the better your sleep will likely be. It's like training your body to expect sleep at a certain time.
That makes sense. It's like setting an alarm for your internal clock.
Yeah.
What else can we do to optimize our sleep hygiene?
Another important factor is limiting exposure to stimulants, like caffeine and nicotine, especially in the hours leading up to bedtime.
I know caffeine can keep me awake, but what about nicotine?
Now, nicotine is actually a powerful stimulant that can disrupt sleep patterns. It can increase heart rate, blood pressure, and brain activity, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep.
Good to know. I'll definitely keep that in mind. So we've got consistency and avoiding stimulants. What else is on the sleep hygiene checklist?
Creating a relaxing bedtime routine is crucial. This could involve taking a warm bath, reading a book, listening to calming music, or practicing relaxation techniques.
I've heard that dimming the lights in the evening can help signal to your body that it's time to wind down.
That's right. Dimming the lights and avoiding screens in the hour or two before bed can make a big difference. Electronic devices emit blue light, which can suppress melatonin production, a hormone that helps regulate our sleep-wake cycle.
Ah, that explains why I sometimes have trouble falling asleep after scrolling through social media in bed, so no more late-night phone sessions for me.
Exactly. Your bedroom should be a sanctuary for sleep, in addition to light. Think about temperature and noise. A cool, dark, and quiet room is ideal for most people.
So investing in blackout curtains and a white noise machine could be helpful?
They certainly can be. And don't forget about regular exercise.
Exercise. How does that tie into sleep? I thought working out would make me more energized.
While exercise can boost energy levels, regular physical activity actually promotes better sleep. It helps reduce stress, improves mood, and regulates your circadian rhythm.
So hitting the gym can actually help me sleep better. But what about the timing? Is it okay to exercise close to bedtime?
It's generally recommended to avoid strenuous exercise in the few hours before bed. Your body temperature and heart rate are elevated after a workout, which can make it harder to fall asleep.
Got it. No more late-night gym sessions for me. So we've covered consistency, limiting stimulants, creating a relaxing routine, optimizing the sleep environment, and incorporating regular exercise. Is there anything else we should be aware of when it comes to sleep hygiene?
Another often overlooked aspect is diet and hydration.
You mean what we eat and drink can affect our sleep?
Absolutely. It's best to avoid heavy meals and sugary snacks close to bedtime, as they can lead to indigestion and disrupt sleep.
So no more late-night pizza binges.
Probably a good idea. It's also important to be mindful of your fluid intake in the evening.
I can see how drinking too much water before bed could lead to those annoying middle-of-the-night bathroom trips. But what about having a little nightcap to help me relax before bed? A glass of wine, perhaps?
While alcohol might initially make you feel sleepy, it can actually interfere with your sleep cycles later in the night. It can disrupt REM sleep, which is the stage of sleep associated with dreaming and memory consolidation.
So even though I might fall asleep faster after a drink, the quality of my sleep could be compromised?
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance between relaxation
Yeah.
and setting yourself up for a restful night of sleep. And speaking of relaxation, there are some specific techniques you can incorporate into your routine that can be very helpful in promoting sleep.
I'm all ears. What kind of relaxation techniques are we talking about?
Yeah, relaxation techniques. Those definitely sound worth exploring, especially since we've covered so many other aspects of sleep hygiene already. What are some of the most effective ones?
Well, there are quite a few. And the best one for you will really depend on your personal preferences. Some popular options include deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, and mindfulness meditation.
I've heard of deep breathing exercises like the 4-7-8 technique. You breathe in for a count of 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. That's right, that's a great example. Deep, slow breathing helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our body's natural rest and digest mode. This can help lower your heart rate, reduce stress, and promote feelings of calmness.
Okay, so deep breathing for relaxation. What about progressive muscle relaxation? I think I tried that once in a yoga class.
Oh yeah. Progressive muscle relaxation involves systematically tensing and relaxing different muscle groups throughout your body. It's a great way to release physical tension, which can often interfere with sleep.
Yeah, it's amazing how connected our physical and mental states are. If our body is tense, our mind is likely racing too. What about mindfulness meditation? How does that help with sleep?
Mindfulness meditation is all about focusing your attention on the present moment without judgment. It can help quiet the mind, reduce anxiety,
Yeah.
and improve sleep quality. There are many guided meditations specifically designed for sleep, or you can simply practice focusing on your breath.
So instead of replaying my to-do list in my head, I can focus on my breath and let go of those thoughts.
Exactly, it takes practice. But over time, mindfulness can become a powerful tool for managing stress and improving sleep.
So it sounds like there are many different ways to approach relaxation. What if I've tried all of these techniques and I'm still struggling with insomnia? Are there any other options?
There are a couple of more specialized techniques we can talk about. One is called stimulus control therapy. It's based on the idea of retraining your brain to associate the bed only with sleep.
Retraining my brain, how does that work?
The key is to avoid doing anything in bed other than sleeping. No reading, no watching TV or working. If you're lying in bed for more than 20 minutes and you're not asleep, get out of bed and do something relaxing in dim light until you feel tired again.
So the idea is to break the association between my bed and wakefulness. It sounds counterintuitive, but I can see how it might work.
It can be surprisingly effective for people who have developed a habit of tossing and turning for hours in bed. Another technique is sleep restriction therapy.
Sleep restriction, that sounds almost like the opposite of what we should be doing.
I know, right? It might sound counterintuitive,
Yeah.
but it's actually a very effective method for resetting your sleep cycle. It involves temporarily limiting the amount of time you spend in bed to match the amount of time you're actually sleeping.
So if I'm only sleeping for 5 hours a night, I would only allow myself to be in bed for 5 hours.
Exactly. By consolidating your sleep and creating a mild sleep deprivation, you actually build up your sleep drive, which makes it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep.
I can see how that would make sense. You're basically forcing your body to crave sleep.
Precisely. Once your sleep is stabilized during this restricted time, you can gradually increase your time in bed until you reach a healthy amount of sleep.
Wow. Well, we've covered a lot of ground tonight. From the basics of sleep hygiene to more advanced techniques like stimulus control and sleep restriction, it's amazing how much we're learning about the science of sleep and how we can optimize it. I know I've learned a lot.
Me too. It's been a pleasure exploring this with you. And remember, even small changes can make a big difference. So start incorporating some of these strategies into your routine tonight and see how you feel.
That's great advice. So to recap, we've explored the importance of sleep hygiene, the connection between sleep positions and emotions, and a variety of relaxation techniques and therapies for overcoming insomnia. It's been a fascinating deep dive into the world of sleep. Sweet dreams, listener. May you wake up feeling refreshed and ready to take on the day.